There are a lot of recent developments in the Israel-Hamas war. Hamas has published a hostage video of an Israeli-American citizen giving his first life sign in over 420 days. The IDF is continuing to expand its operation in northern Gaza as thousands of Palestinians evacuate the region. The fragile ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon has gradually been violated over the past days. I'm Alon Burstein. Let's dive into these recent developments in the Israel-Hamas war. Starting with the hostage situation, on Friday, November 29th, Hamas released a 3.5-minute video showing the first life sign of Idan Alexander. In the video, Alexander, who holds both Israeli and American citizenship, speaks both in Hebrew and in English, and addresses both Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. Among others, he mentions that he has been in captivity for over 420 days and chastises the Israeli government for abandoning him and the other hostages to their deaths in the tunnels of the Gaza Strip. He makes specific reference to Netanyahu's public statements regarding offering money to captors who may release hostages. I will say in a side comment, Netanyahu has repeatedly said that he's going to make such an offer. However, it has never actually been put on the table. Nonetheless, Alexander does mention this offer, and he says that this will not bring about the release of any hostages and only contributes to prolonging their agony in the Gaza Strip. He also explicitly states that his captors have informed him of new orders they received, implying that the orders are to execute the hostages if the IDF approaches their vicinity. Again, he does not say that explicitly. However, he says that the captors have informed him of new orders they were given, and then says, "We are in fear of our death at any given moment." When addressing U.S. President-elect, Alexander asked Trump to, quote, not repeat Biden's mistakes, end quote, stating that sending weapons to Israel is resulting in hostages being killed when the IDF drops these weapons in the Gaza Strip, and that imposing further sieges in Gaza are leading to hostages having less food and starving. He also makes specific reference to Hirsch Goldberg Polin, the Israeli U.S. citizen who was executed in the tunnels of Rafah when the IDF approached the area, stating that he does not want to end up like other U.S. citizens who were left to their death in the Gaza Strip. The video ends as most of the past videos of the hostages end, showing an hourglass with a writing across the screen in Hebrew, Arabic, and English stating, "Time is running out." In other news related to the hostages, the IDF announced that it has confirmed the death of Omer Natura, an IDF soldier who was kidnapped on October 7th. The military stated that it had gathered enough evidence showing that Natura was in fact killed in the October 7th attack, and that his body has been kidnapped back to the Gaza Strip and is held there among the 101 hostages. With that, the IDF has confirmed the deaths of 37 hostages out of the 101 that are held in the Gaza Strip. However, it's important to note that even though the IDF has quote-unquote only confirmed the death of 37, Israeli intelligence does appear to believe that only 50 hostages remain alive. Netanyahu has himself quoted this number of roughly 50 hostages or half the hostages remaining alive in the Gaza Strip when speaking to different Knesset committees. In the last couple of days, there are rumors circulating that Israel's Minister Ron Dermer informed the team of President-elect Trump that Israel believes that 60 of the hostages remain alive. However, again, that is just rumors at this point. Moving on to the Gaza Strip, intensive battles continue to be reported in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip. Both the El-Qassam brigades and the IDF have reported very intensive fighting in the areas of Jabalia refugee camp in the northern parts of the Strip, as well as in the areas of Beit Lahia and the southern parts of Gaza City. The IDF also stated on December 1st that additional units are being mobilized to the region in preparation for expansion of this operation that has been going on in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip, coming on 2 months. UN agencies have estimated that since the beginning of this operation on October 6, 2024, between 100,000 and 131,000 Palestinians have evacuated the area. Again, this is already after over 1 million Palestinians evacuated the area at the beginning of the war between October and December of last year. This has raised further suspicion that Israel is tacitly implementing the general's plan without officially declaring it. I'll say here, if you're interested in learning more about this plan, what it entails, and why there are rumors that Israel is implementing it, check out my video from November 5th of this year, where I discuss this plan at length. Interestingly, those who are suggesting that Israel is implementing the plan received surprising boost over the weekend from Israel's former defense minister and chief of staff, Moshe Bogie Alon. Speaking at an interview, Alon stated explicitly that the Israeli government's plan will end up including ethnic cleansing in Gaza, and stated that the proof of that can already be seen in the northern parts of the Strip. In the interview, he was asked if he stands by the statement that the government's plans will eventually lead to ethnic cleansing, and he went even further, stating it is not a question of quote-unquote eventually, but that this is already happening in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip, giving specific examples of the destructions of Beit Lahia, Beit Hanun, and Jabali refugee camp, and stating that, quote, effectively the area is being purged from Arabs, end quote. His statements came under expected extreme criticism within Israel, ranging from the IDF spokesperson stating that the military adheres to international rules of war, all the way to the Likud member of the Knesset and Deputy Speaker of the House, Nissim Vaturi, who stated that Alon should be institutionalized and put on trial for treason. What is happening right now is the operation in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip is intensifying. This is also very important to understand with regards to the larger implications on the war. The northern parts of the Gaza Strip were the focus of the IDF invasion at the beginning of the war. The IDF took over all of Gaza City, including Beit Hanun, Beit Lahia, Jabali refugee camp, between October and December of 2023. Then in December, it was declared that the Al-Qassam brigades have been defeated in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip. Now, a year later, the IDF is holding some of the most intensive battles in that area. Clearly, Hamas has rebuilt a lot of its infrastructure in that region. Finally, regarding the situation in Lebanon, while the ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon has broadly held up over the last days, there have been some notable violations. Some of these are quite directly related to the ambiguity that's in the side agreement between Israel and the United States, wherein the IDF is permitted to act against quote-unquote immediate threats emanating from Lebanon. This has led to obvious disagreements between the sides regarding what is considered immediate. Over the last days, the IDF has carried out several attacks and airstrikes against Hezbollah operatives in southern Lebanon, stating those operatives were preparing to fire rockets against Israel. However, they never actually fired the rockets. Both sides then stated that the other has violated the agreement, with the Lebanese side saying that the IDF has carried out these airstrikes, whereas the IDF saying no, this was an immediate threat, and actually the violators are Hezbollah. On December 2nd, the biggest violation of the agreement thus far happened, with Hezbollah firing between 2 and 3 rockets towards an IDF outpost in Hardov. I will say this is very reminiscent of the way Hezbollah started its involvement in the war back on October 8th of 2023. The IDF responded with a series of airstrikes, and both sides have stated that they remain committed to the ceasefire. However, it obviously remains to be seen what will happen with these minor escalations. Are they going to be absorbed by both sides, or is this going to lead to another spiral that eventually leads the ceasefire to break down? Before I conclude, one more thing I'm going to add on a personal note. My wife gave birth to our second child a few days ago, leading me to very likely appear as tired as I in fact am while recording this. I'm saying this because I will continue to upload summaries and report on the updates from the war as often as I can. However, these are likely going to be quite a bit shorter and more sporadic, at least in the foreseeable weeks. On that note, if you find these summaries informative, please do remember to pass them along to anyone who you think may be interested in the war. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to know when summaries come out. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'm Alon Burstein. I'm a visiting assistant professor and Israel Institute fellow in the Department of Political Science at Tufts University. Thanks for watching.